Thank you. My question is for Bob Catter. The youth in this area that belong to minority groups, and in particular homosexuals, have a much higher rate of suicide. In the past, you will not address the topic of gay rights as you see it as irrelevant. Do you think it is appropriate for us to have a discussion about the links between regional Australia and suicide and willingly omit an entire group of at-risk individuals?
I'm attributed with having some hostility in this area, and you'd want to have a look at my record before you started making that claim.
I think that's probably
as far as the party goes, we had a couple of people there. They were a very serious problem, and they had very serious personal problems. They're not now associated with our party. And I answer the question that way. Tony, I can't help but come back, and I am jumping sideways slightly. The issue that Marie raised, there is an incarceration issue. There are two people in this audience.
No, Bob, I'm going to, rather than go sideways, how about just do it?
I'd like to come back to that later on.
You can come back to that later, but please address this question.
Yeah, right.
I would say that your reluctance to address homosexuals as well as their civil rights is quite detrimental to their mental health.
I'm quite happy to address that issue anytime anyone brings it to me, right? I have an electorate where I have a person committing suicide between Longreach and the Gulf Carpenter every 2 weeks in the cattle section. I have large First Australian communities where it is absolutely endemic, right? And if you're saying, well, what's your priorities? Well, the priorities that I got are the people that are confronting me, and quite rightly confronting me. That's the problem that I have to deal with. You have a problem that you might have to deal with in your life, and if I can assist you in any way, I'm only too happy to do that.
I think probably the issue, right, is you say that it's not a priority, but you talk about it quite a bit. And when you do talk about it, you say awful things. So that's the problem. So if you're gonna go out there as an elected member of Parliament and deny the existence of homosexuals in your electorate, which is kooky, adorable but kooky, of course people are going to get upset, right? And what worries me when I hear you talk like this, and I spent the day Googling you, and you're adorable, is you say a lot of really important, powerful things, right? Like what you've said tonight, I hear it and I think this is a guy that cares, and it's really important. When I hear you talk about dairy farmers and you say people in the cities should spend more than $2 on milk, I agree with you. But then when you go out and you deny the existence of homosexuals in North Queensland, they exist. There's an app called Grindr. I'll put it on your phone. You disenfranchise the community. And I spoke earlier about guys and being afraid of talking about their feelings and afraid of being feminine, afraid of looking gay, right? And that is all tied to the kind of homophobic talk you get all through society. If you are trying to talk about mental health, in one hand saying this is very important, but these guys don't matter, then the whole community just falls apart.
I most certainly have been guilty of cracking jokes upon myself, upon just about everyone.
I don't think you were joking. I don't believe last time you were on the show you said you were joking.
In the last 10 years, and Josh, you better be a bit careful about the truth here. In the last 7 years, I'm trying to go to my memory bank, I defy you to find a single statement that I have made in that period of time on this issue. Because I've had my hurt bashed up by young ladies like this or people like this, and I say, right, fair call.
Bob, can I just?
I'm going to behave myself in this area.
Bob, it's nice to hear. Bob, it's nice to hear that you may consider yourself to have evolved in some way. Hang on for 1 second. But I mean, it wasn't only people like Josh. It was your own half brother who actually came out and accused you of making dangerous and hurtful statements about homosexual people.
You've got an ad, you can still see it on YouTube, from the Qatar Australia Party about how homosexuals are evil. You said they don't exist. For you then to turn around and say you haven't said homophobic things, it's just ridiculous. All you need to do All you need to... She asked the question. You say, you know what? I've said some stuff in the past. It was a mistake. I understand now. It's hurting people's mental health. It's part of the problem, not part of the solution. I'm sorry. Hooray for gay people. Here's some glitter. That's it.
Well, so Bob,
So firstly, you said I'm saying these things. Secondly, if you'd listened to my answer to the question, I thought that was exactly what I said. All right.
What I hear you say,
sorry.
every time
Look, Tony,
yep.
everyone in this audience must have seen me. I said, I'm not talking about it. We're switching off about it, right? I sat in one television interview, sitting reading my book, which gave me a lot of free publicity for my history book. But you know, I mean, I'm not talking about it, and that's what I'm doing.
But you don't get to, you don't get to have an opinion because you voted
Josh, you've probably got to let him finish a sentence.
I'm not listening. I agree with what your last statement is, and that's where it's staying. That's where it's staying.
Okay, now our questioner had her hand back up, Bob, so I just want to quickly go back to her.
You do a lot of really good campaigning for mental health. If you want to deal with suicide, then deal with suicide. You cannot discriminate against who you want to work towards.
I'm not discriminating against anyone.
You only want to address the farmers. There are other issues in your electorate. There are other people
I
as
work
well.
out of people that come to me and that have problems, right?
Do you think maybe they don't want to
I
come
can
to you
say
because
that
of the comments
nobody,
that you make?
to my knowledge, has ever come to me with this problem. Right? Now you can call me a
there's
liar.
probably a reason for
Well,
that.
obviously you think that I'm a liar, and that may be the
Okay,
case,
all right, I'm sorry,
But,
okay,
but
all right.
I have the most serious problems in Australia in this electorate. And if you think that I should take time off those people
You can do
and
both.
devote them to
You
some
don't
other
have
group,
to.
then-
You don't have
Okay,
to.
hold on,
Hold on,
questioner.
But anyway,
Hold on,
look,
Bob.
here we are.
Hold on, Josh. Hold on, everybody. I think I heard in the middle of that, and I'll give Bob sort of 20 seconds just to sum up.
no,
I think
Tony.
I heard that you said you actually regretted what you'd said.
No, Tony, I did not say anything.
He's never said
that-
anything.
Okay.
Except...
Nothing has ever been said.
Look,
Don't believe a word.
Tony, Josh is having a great time here, right? I'm not, so I'm just going to sit here and shut up. That's probably the best thing to do.
All right, okay. We are almost out of time, I'm sorry to say.